Good numbing. Hello YouTube, I hope you're doing well. We're back with day 3 of Genshin Impact's Natlan expedition. Last time we left off, we entirely wrapped up Act 1 of the new story, and ended up doing some, what are they called, like native quests? Tribe quests? Essentially, like, there's these special quests that we could do, that we did for each of these, like, the reputation system of all of them. And we kind of figured out by the end of it. I am Hotep, you're a traveler, we know not each other. Hope you're doing well, dude. We kind of figured out that the Act 3 of each tribe's quest is directly tied to that character, so you need to have access to them. Like, because Morlani's banner is going, when we finish Act 2, we can do Part 3 of People of the Springs. Kanish becomes playable in about 3 weeks. Act 3 of the Scions of the Canopy then becomes available. The only reason why Children of the Echoes Act 3 isn't available is because in the story, the character tied to it is completely unavailable to us. She's literally, that's the kid that's literally about to, oh, you know, go fight the Abyss, so she's a little preoccupied. But we're starting off today here, and not at the destination of the next Archon quest, because I wanted to detour for a bit and do a bit of a world quest. I started this by accident. I didn't go to the objective marker and talk to the person there. I was actually just exploring the neighborhood, found some crystal, picked it up, and the guy that was over here showed up. It was like, oh, you found this? And I was like, oh, shit, this was tied to the quest. So I thought we'd make this a good starting point and just kind of go from there. I probably won't do all the world quests because, Fontaine in particular, had every single world quest take about 5 to 6 hours. And I think no one will ever let Hoyoverse live down the Aranaki quest in Sumeru. Because that was, I think that was like close to 19 hours on average to beat it. Like, it took a fucking week to beat it. You had to lock in. But I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're having a fantastic time. Whether you're playing Genshin or whether you're not, I hope you're having a wonderful time playing whatever you'll be playing. So I'm just double checking everything before we proper begin, making sure my mic works and everything all else. So 1 second.
Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with a few different identities to choose from. Need me to come up with
Right, let's go. Oh, I got, you can see I put a marker on the map because I got the notification on the map for this Pyroculus on the surface. Rencord is interesting but frustrating. Alright. Start one piece at a time. Why interesting? Oh, also, of the Pyroculuses, I think... I might be wrong. There's, I think, 108 in this first update. And through me just wandering around, I found 78 of them. So I'm not doing too bad. Through just me wandering around and exploring.
Take it easy. Illusion shot.
Oh shit, alright, I was too close to the bomb. And what they do with the lore. Oh. And frustrating because it's a tactical RPG? Yeah, I get it. I'm messing.
An impressive bounty.
As well as the former Dorfa characters leaving Dorfa. Bad, Robu. But yeah, with the Pyroculuses, and also, like, I've got a few things saved already. There's a quest line around Natlan for finding these graffitied plates and taking them to a specific spot. There's no objective that tells you where they are, so I stumbled into a guide and I have that saved. So, like, I already have a couple things ready. I have all the locations of all 10 of, like, those optional bosses that, like, kicked my ass. Saved as well for a guide, so I can go hunt a couple of them down. So I'm prepared, and then obviously Pyroculus I can just Google that. So I should be okay to kind of work my way through Natlan when I decide to start going for 100%. Not going on this way too long, longer than it has any right to be. Oh, fair enough.
Shine down. Laid bare.
I guess that's the trouble, though, because like, how many years has it been since Fairy Fencer? Like, well, since Fairy Fencer came out versus Refresh...
My comeuppance.
Oh, there was a bomb there, huh? Okay. Because they might have felt that because it's been such a long time, they need to make it a big one, you know? Like, they need to make it worth the wait, and it has to be extra long and all that shit, you know? I'm just theorizing there. I have no idea what happens behind closed doors, but I can understand at least, like, from a creative perspective, the longer a distance it is between you releasing something for it, the more you feel like you have to make it matter to make the difference. I'm saying this robed dude, and he's like there, who is hooded and cloaked. Oh. Just like before, don't forget to touch that. Touch that, that looks like it's gonna kill me. The iridescent inscription? Oh, we got it. I assume he doesn't say anything, but everyone understands him. Oh, right, so they're playing into, like, the tropes of, like, I have a plan, and immediately starts running, and the other person just seems to know what the plan is. Got it. The Ruby Season 1, Weiss, you have to trust me, but I think I have a plan. And they both nod at each other, and then turn opposite away from each other and run the opposite direction. It's like, what? You haven't discussed the plan! 25 chapters of characters faffing around. Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. Anything at all. There you go, that's the second lesser shadow pin. Yeah, these things are called shadow pins, by the way. The seals around this pin have been damaged far more than the first. Even the iridescent inscription has been pushed outside the pillar. So that's what you call that shiny golden vein. Now that you mention it, I think we've seen them before. That's right. There should be something similar in the pin you pushed back into the ground earlier. It's just ellipses, then yes, I understand. Yeah, that's trying to do the whole, it's implied that he just explained everything, but they don't want you to know who the voice is, yada yada, or give the game away. Ancient legends tell that before the idea of Natlan was even born, when this land was ruled by the ancient dragons, the language by which was wielded, oh, I forget how they pronounced it. It was like Fulgian, or Fulgian. Phlogiston, there we go. I had to think for a second, was these iridescent inscriptions. I get why did they do that, because the voice acting makes it real pointless. It's just a mystery of the game. Yeah, I hear you. These days, don't understand the meaning hidden in these lights. Only the golden engravings scattered across Natlan remain to mark the trail of those ancient dragons. Wait, so you know how to work it, but not how it works? Well, we cannot decipher the meaning of these inscriptions, but the way we use Phlogiston are the same. So we do understand it on that level. Let me try to explain. There's some really cool stuff in tech. So Leeway has those mysterious adeptal mechanisms, yes? And while humans don't know the principles underlying their functions, you can still make use of them. The more or less that's what I'm talking about, despite the imperfect analogy. So, much to say that we'll need this shiny iridescent inscription to push the pin back down, right? Correct. Think of the inscription as an eggshell that has been shattered by an expanding abyss. Alright, that's an interesting analogy, my dude. We'll need to find the broken shards and fix the shell. Only then can the abyss within be sealed away. A lot of stuff in tech, like artificial furies and false furies. I'm glad I read that twice, because when I first glanced at that message in chat, I read furries, and I was like, artificial furries and false furries? What the fuck is that? How can you be a false furry? Do you just say I like animals and then don't do anything? References personally. That's a better analogy than the last. Paimon thinks so too, now she gets it. Speaking of which, the golden patterns flew right over, just like before, but the inscription hasn't appeared beneath that pillar. Why is that? This indicates that not only has the inscription been squeezed out, but it's also become fragmented. This is bad. We need to find any scattered bits and fast. So where do we find them? I don't know either. Huh? They should still be held down by some power despite being scattered. So my guess is that they're nearby. Maybe we just need to look around. Rawr, rawr. Oh, hey, Soma. You want to go over? We're doing something important right now. We'll play with you later, alright? Rawr, rawr, rawr. Do you mean the inscriptions over there? Rawr. Oh wow, I've heard that even now there are still Saurons that can sense an inscription's power, but I thought it was heresy. Oh, hearsay, not heresy. He's not evil. Could it be true? I suppose you really are no ordinary, Tipetlosaurus. I can't help but feel like when they were trying to think of names for their creatures, they just put Tupet the Saurus, and then went, no, that's too obvious. So, you can do that too, huh? You've got some way to go for me, as good as guide as Paimon. Paimon's jealous. Says who? Paimon's way more broad-minded than she looks. This is just her way of praising him. The little guy didn't catch on at all. He's a little smarter. I'm sure he'll understand someday. Precisely. Those in the tribe responsible for Sauron care always say that it takes time to truly establish a rapport with them. The secret to success is as follows. Exercise patience and constantly communicate. Whether humans wish to understand Saurons or Saurons humans, they both need lots and lots of time. True, just like Paimon didn't get what Soma was trying to tell us just about now either. Sorry, Soma. Rawr, rawr. You're quick to reply, though. Paimon will give you that. Alright, we'll follow you and see if we can find any golden patterns. And by follow you, I mean I kind of want to glance around the area because it's interesting. Oh, hey, hey, do you think that's the Abyss? Do you think that's the Abyss trying to break through? Gee. Where are we going? Oh, we're going way up there. Oh, never mind. We're not even, like, messing with this. I thought he was going to ask us to, like, jump down into the pin. But I gotta be real, I am really enjoying the exploration in Natlan. I was a little unsure, like, with like the mountains, and like on day one, there, like, even then, I was like, oh, I don't think it's as good as Fontaine's, but it is still nice, but it is growing on me. I think the fact that, like, the easiest way to put it is that, like, the closer, depending on what tribe you're closer to, seems to have a radical effect on how the terrain is explorable. Like, a lot of the Children's of Echo stuff, it's designed around being caves and canyons and tunnels. A lot of the stuff near the sea onto the canopy tends to be a lot more open-spaced. Whilst, People of the Springs, well, you can fucking see it, it's mostly water. And so it's like, it's not all, oh, you're in this region, so this region works like this. Like every other region in the game. Mondstadt, you go to Mondstadt for flat lands. You go to Leeway, and it's just all fucking mountains. You go to Inazuma, it's all separated islands with thunder gimmicks. You go to Sumeru, it's half getting lost in a rainforest, half absolute fucking boredom. You go to Fontaine, you're either barely touching the land, solving a crazy block puzzle up here, or you're in the water. Natlan, actually, depending on what tribe you're near, affects how you explore it. So when you're on, like, the boundaries between the two, like here, you actually get to see how it molds from one to the other. So it's got actual, like, distinctness that changes throughout it as you explore it. Which makes me more curious to when the other 3 tribes will get added. If, like, when all 6 tribes are added, if Natlan is one of the most diverse regions in terms of how you can explore it. I hope so. I think that would be wicked. I think Natlan's going to be a slow burn in the sense of when it's done, it will be a fantastic, even arguable, one of the best regions to just explore. Because if those have been with the channel for a while, you'll know, like, when I kind of, not review, but kind of look back on each region, I, like, kind of treat the Archon quest and actually exploring the map separately. Like, I talked before, that's like, I love exploring Inazuma, but I think the story is one of the weakest. Whilst oppositely, I think Sumeru has a fantastic story, but I find the desert boring as all hell. I don't enjoy exploring, I didn't enjoy exploring any of this. Was OG is... Oh, geez, fair enough. So it's like, it's just cool. It's like the only region that like I feel like hit it perfect was Fontaine. Fontaine had a fantastic story, and the region was super fun to explore. And we got some sick music, because I think the Fortress of Meripede's music will live in my head rent-free for all time. It's great background music for writing, too. And do you remember the Fortress of Meripede? Hey, do you remember, like, how in 4.1, we went on to spend, like, I kid you not, like, 10 or 11 hours straight in the fortress, and we only left when I really wanted to go exploring? Like, it was like 3 streams straight, and the only thing we could see was rusted steel and dark, damp rooms. Like, for 3 streams straight. And we did it! Because the story was interesting. We were trying to figure out what on earth happened to Child. Oh, there's the mount. Just betrayed Dorva, and the orphans. Oh, jeez. I need to go through the other endings of Fairy Fencer. I know I say that all the time, but, like, I really do need to do it. I think I underestimated how much making my first playthrough, the hard mode playthrough, to get the trophy out the way, was a bad idea. I radically underestimated how much of a bad idea that was, and by the time I was done, mostly because of the final boss, I was so fucking burnt out of that game. I enjoyed it, but man, was I like, I don't want to play this again right now. I want to do the other endings at some point, but it just, I have not gone back to it at all yet.
One way to draw your target out of hiding.
And the thing is I know it will be easier, because when I do go back to it, I'll just do it in New Game Plus, and because I have nothing to prove, I'll just play it on normal, because I've already got the hard mode trophy. Fantastic, it'd be much better if you trim the fat. That sucks, I get it. Like, that was kind of how I felt. Where, like, obviously, like, I've matured a little since when I was 9 years old and first played it. But when I first played through the original version of Persona 3, the biggest thing I had came out of it. It's like, man, the story is good. It's a shame you do nothing for half of it, though. Because, the game's 80 hours long, and they want to make sure it's 80 hours long. But when the story actually happens, it's good. And so I was on the same thing. It was like, yeah, the story would be greater if it was just like half the size. And considering, even at the time, my favorite Persona was Persona 2 Innocent Sin. The game that can be done in like 30 to 40 hours. I was like, man, wouldn't it just be better if it was that length? Soma, what are you doing? Are you just following me around? Come on, buddy. But then ironically, when I play Persona 4, the game that arguably has a worse-paced story, maybe it's because it just wasn't my first rodeo with it anymore, it didn't bother me anywhere near as much, the pacing. And then, I don't know if they changed it in Royal, but in base Persona 5, my criticism was actually the other way around. The game, I felt too often makes the story take control. It doesn't give you enough time, especially in the last half of the story, to go do what you want. The moment you get to, like, the spaceport, heck, even before the spaceport, like, the moment you're completely done with the Futaba chapter, the in-between into the spaceport, into the in-between, into the casino, into the in-between, into Shido, you get, like, no fucking time, it feels like, to actually just stop and smell the roses. And, like, so I almost felt like I had the opposite problem, but I was like, I just didn't actually get to fucking stop. Find a way down. Oh, we probably have to transform and dig then. Oh shit! Hey, oh! Well, I found the way down. With. So I haven't played Royal, and I know Royal added that whole third act, and the only reason I know about that third act is because it's like the fucking thing that people always tell me about, and I get it. Everything I hear about it, I'm like, yeah, that does actually sound pretty sick, and I will get to it eventually. I just didn't want to pay full price for a game that I already paid full price for on the same fucking platform, because I got it full price at launch on PS4, and then suddenly Royal came out and was full priced again on PS4, and I was like, what the fuck is this? I felt like I'd been scammed, so I didn't buy it straight away. But I will get to it eventually. And it'll be nice to return to it as well, because, you know, I'm not 17 anymore. And so it'll be nice to kind of reflect and see, like, and see how, like, I've grown and changed since its original release. And the dungeon designs. Yeah, I understand that. Base P5 dungeons were all over the place. I think the first dungeon's fine for a tutorial. The second one has a pretty cool part with the painting puzzle, which I heard they got rid of in Royal. I'm like, what the fuck? That was the best part of the dungeon. I know the... Oh, shit. Oh, I'll just go under the water. Oh, wait, we're not in Fontaine. I know, the... Fucking, the third dungeon, this, like, the vault. In base P5, if you knew the codes because, you know, knowledge from previous playthroughs, you could skip a lot of that dungeon. Futaba's Palace is still my favorite dungeon in the game. I love that place. The sweatshop, everything about the sweatshop fucking sucked, and I don't think that's a hot take. I think everyone agrees that the sweatshop was fucking awful. And I heard they made it worse in Royal, and I'm like, bruh. That's been designed worse. Oh, the only thing I know about the hook is that there's a shortcut in the sweatshop that no one found for like 2 years straight. That allows you, like, during, like, the escape sequence near the end before you fight the boss, to, like, skip the entire fucking escape sequence. It's like, as soon as it starts, you just shift the camera left, look up in the corner, and there's a hook point that's just hidden there, and you can use it, and it skips the entire fucking escape sequence. And the developers apparently put there deliberately for those who are struggling with the boss. And I was just like, that's kind of neat. Shame, like, if they knew people would, like, didn't like the boss and were struggling with it, they probably should have fucking, oh, I don't know, worked on changing it, but, I guess that's, I guess, like, they wanted it to feel like a grind to, you know, match the theming and all that shit, but still. Oh, fuck! That's like the third time today I've just whacked a bomb face first. The casino I genuinely like... But I should clarify, I liked it a lot on my first playthrough, but on my second, it's a little time-consuming. Shido's Palace is an Atlas Final Dungeon through and through. It's a classic Atlas Final Dungeon through and through, as in it's way too fucking long. That's like the biggest fucking problem with mid-2000s Atlas RPGs, regardless of what they did, regardless of what genre it was in. If they were making dungeons in it, you knew that the last dungeon was going to be like 2 hours too fucking long. And the Shido ship was exactly that. That dungeon was way too fucking long for its own good. It was nowhere near as offensive as, you know, the other Atlas game that came out the same year that had an egregiously long final dungeon, but it was up there. It wasn't as bad as Apocalypse's final dungeon. Apocalypse's final dungeon, I've said it before, is the only reason why I don't recommend Apocalypse as like a starting game for SMT. If the final dungeon was literally any different, I'd be like, yeah, Apocalypse is the best Shin Megami Tensei game to start with, you know, before 5 came out. Now, I give base P5 like a 9, because I genuinely love that game. My criticisms with it don't stop me from really, really fucking enjoying that game. But equally, I was the fucking target audience. I was an awkward teenager that felt very vulnerable and very unsure of himself, and a lot of my problems were caused by adults just not being helpful. And so I played a game where you play as a bunch of teenagers where adults are constantly fucking them over. Yeah, I related to that, and I really enjoyed it, because I was the target goddamn audience. So every time I see, like, a mid-30-year-old, and I say that, I was saying this before I met you, one man, so don't take this as a jab, but every time I hear a mid-30-year-old say they don't like P5, I'm like, yeah, crazy that. It's almost like you weren't who they were making it for. Oh, I don't have the digging one, so I can't break that open. And then obviously I can't... No, the depths of Memento was also kind of a bad dungeon. That one I'll criticize. But the problem with the depths of Memento, to be honest, is that I just don't remember it. It has nothing memorable about it, because that was, in base P5, that was when it became extremely apparent that the last chapters were rushed. Because Sega put on deadlines on the team, and so they started scrapping a bunch of shit and just trying to throw it together and make the ending stick. Which is like why the split second you finish Shido's dungeon, it feels like the pacing goes out the window because they literally had to rush to the finish line to meet deadlines. Which I think is a real shame because I'm pretty sure the only Persona game where they got to do everything they wanted to on the first round was Persona 3. Persona 1, they didn't have the budget to do what they wanted, so they had to cut corners from their original ambitions. Persona 2, there's literally 2 Persona 2s because they had to split the game in half to get that whole story across. Persona 4, Golden is literally putting in all the content they wanted to put into it. Persona 3, Festival was just like, here's a few bonuses and an extra story we cooked up, and Portal was like, fuck it, let's hear an extra character. And 5 Royal, although a lot of Royal is brand new, there are a lot of elements in the main story that are expanded upon that they wanted in the base release. Persona 3 is the only Persona game that actually released intended, if that makes sense. Like, if the intended package that they were happy with, every single other one faced time constraints, or in P1's case, budget constraints. Theme throughout. Yeah, that's a fair criticism, because you know what very long game-lasting dungeon in the same series didn't do that? Fucking Tartarus in P3. Every, like, 50-ish floors, you got a different remix. It was the same theme, but you got a different remix of it. And so it kept it fresh enough that it wasn't just blah, 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 the whole fucking time. And I don't mind the Mementos theme, but when it's, like, the most common fucking track you hear for, like, 80 hours, it is a bit like, eh. Not that it stops me whilst playing, because I'm going into Mementos, either because I'm burning through, hunting for loot, or I'm beating death to death. So, like, I'm there with a purpose, not to just kind of fuck around. To be fair, like, as much as I say Persona 3 is the weakest one, in my opinion, you know, in my evil hot take, the only Persona games I genuinely don't like are the Q games. I just couldn't get into either of them at all. No, I tried Q1, I had a lot of criticisms of it, and just never finished it, because I just got tired of it. And then I saw Q2, and I was like, oh, let's see what they fixed. And I went, oh, they fixed nothing. Oh, if anything, they just made it worse. You getting Personas and Mementos? Oh, fair enough. Now, maybe it's just because, you know, I'm an old hand at Atlas games, but I never needed to go into Mementos to get Personas, because I got all the ones I needed, through the actual palaces. Like, all the ones I needed and all the ones I could fuse. It was only when I was going for 100% demons that there was like 2 or 3 in the Mementos that I needed to go back to clean up for. Because the only other demons I were missing were all the treasure demons. And I don't know if they changed it in Royal, I hope they did. But in base P5, the treasure demons could only be found in their respective palaces. So if you was missing in one in like, the second dungeon of the game, and you was at endgame trying to do cleanup, it's like, well, tough shit, that's an NG plus cycle to get that one up. Which is also the reason why I haven't platinumed it, because I did a 3rd playthrough to do that, and I couldn't be bothered to do a 4th one straight away to do all the requests, because that was all I was missing was requests. Before I finish this, I want to... Okay, no, it's going to try and force me to go this way. There was a little bit more back over here I wanted to explore. So I didn't go over here, I wanted to see what over here was. Oh no, I did come over here. I came from over here. I'm an idiot. I got spun around, because I think it's because I went over here and explored, and then when I came back, something in my brain just went, oh, I entered from here. Alright, so let's go back up. That being said, though, whenever they want to announce Persona 6, I'm ready. I am more than ready. It's been a long-ass time now since P5, and I'm ready for it, like, for the series to move on. It's funny, like, I feel like I'm more ready to move on to Persona 6 from P5 than I was P4 to P5, even though P5 was like the most anticipated like game from Atlus ever, and everyone was super fucking hyped for it, like before it was coming out. And I say that, I kind of know why. It's because nostalgia bias. Persona 4 was like the last Persona for a very long time, considering it came out in 2008 and P5 wasn't until 2017. That's a long fucking time to not have a new Persona entry. Music sending my goats, virtual stars, make quintet and refrain chord. Fair enough. But like P4, I don't know, like even with all the spin-offs, like I never got bored of the cast. Even if I didn't always like them all. Like Yosuke is kind of an idiot. But I still like him, I just think he's an idiot. And what helped as well, like 2 months before Persona 5 came out, in Japan, they did this little animated short. And like, it was so simple. But it was one of those things where like, if you cared for the cast, it hit like a pile driver. And you know what it was? It was each member, fully animated, each member of the Persona 4 cast saying goodbye to you, the player. And saying, like, thanks for the memories, see you around. And I was like, that fucked me up when I first watched it. Because I was just like, it's like end of an era, it felt like. Like, it hit so hard at the time. Like, 2 months or so before, like, P5 came out, just seeing the whole cast go, bye. And I was like, no, don't say bye. Instead of love. Alright, Mr. Drama. It ruined my ability to love. But yeah, it was emotional at the time. Because I genuinely loved the P4 cast. The Persona 4 cast is, like, arguably one of the most consistent casts in the series. Because P1, like, fucking no one likes... no one likes the... I forget his name on my head, the kid with the glasses. He's just an arrogant prick for the whole fucking game. P2's cast was pretty solid, but P2's cast, you feel sad for them because all of them have gone through really heinous, horrendous shit, and you're just like, oh man. P3, anytime I have to talk about P3, I have to apologize to Ken, because I don't like Ken. I'm sorry, Ken. But I never cared for your character. Siri's doing it to me. And then P4, even though, like, especially as time has gone on, Yosuke as a character, and his writing especially, has aged worse and worse because he's like a vicious homophobe in, like, for like most of the game. And it's like, Jesus Christ, this writing is bad. It's like, ooh. I still find him very charming in a lot of ways, in his own stupid, dumb, fucking idiot way. I'm just Ken, yeah. And in P5, to be fair, I actually like a lot of the P5 cast. The only one I really don't like is Morgana. But then I think everyone knows that I really fucking don't like Morgana. I think Morgana's the weakest link of the game by a country mile. And the thing is that I can tell because the amount of people that don't like Ryuji, and then the example they list is the one time Ryuji bit back at Morgana after Morgana had taken 50 million jabs. I'm like, this just feels like ignorance. It's like, oh, you're annoyed that Ryuji, after getting harassed and bullied for 50 hours straight, bit back once and it led to a whole story arc? Yeah, no, I'm pissed off at Morgana still for being such a bitch. So, people saying Ryuji being, like, accidentally outing the Phantom Thieves, like, yeah, okay, I get it, that's a legit criticism. How many times did he do it, though? Oh, once, and it led to us getting a new party member that's one of the best party members in the game. Oh, fuck, man, I guess I'm not losing that much sleep, then. And it sucks, because if more people acknowledge that Ryuji is literally just, you know, a kooky teenager that loves his mum, more people would then understand that the real worst scene in the game is where he literally saves all of them at the end of the Pride Dungeon against Shido, and then they beat the shit out of him because they expected him to die. That's, like, by a country mile, the cringiest, worst scene in the fucking game. Because what? Why? He saved your lives and did a noble sacrifice. He didn't know if he was going to live or die. Why is it his fucking fault he lived? Was he afterwards? Oh, well, usually he's just a loud guy. The thing is that he only gets him in trouble once. And anytime people say, oh, but he did it with Akechi, it's like, hey, did you, like, forget the whole fucking plot twist? That the whole reason why they let Akechi catch on to so much is because they knew he was going to try and get them all killed and enact a grand plan, and the whole plot twist was a double bluff to pretend to be tricked by him so they could trick him in return into thinking they're dead so they could carry about their business. It was deliberate to have Ryuji, like, actively be loud and actively play along. It was playing into his strengths of being a loud motherfucker to trick Akechi into thinking they all trust him. It's literally the fucking plot twist. It's literally the plot twist of Persona 5. Is there Iron Joker? No, I think Joker's, like, one of the weaker protagonists. Ryuji, I genuinely am a Ryuji defender. He has problems, and I'm not ignorant to him, but I think he's alright, and I think he's given a real bad hand when he's arguably one of the better, like, quote-unquote lad characters of the series. Well, I prefer him over Yosuke. I don't prefer him over Junpei, but that's because Junpei actually gets a goth girlfriend, and that alone gave him brownie points, because I don't care how annoying you are. If you get a goth girlfriend, you fucking all right, man. I clap my hands to you. You've won at life, Junpei. Congratulations. And I like Anne's story. I just wish they did more with the story. I feel like they kind of just stopped, with Anne's story after a while. I don't know if Royal changes it. Makoto I really like. I think Makoto's great. Futaba's my favorite character in the game, and it's not even close, because I related to her very hard. Not the dead mum thing, my mum's very alive and well, thanks very much, but everything else I very much related to a lot. I felt very connected to. Haru is a fantastic little psychopath. It's a shame they introduce her so late into the story and don't give her much. Because when you spend time with her, you realize, like, oh wait, she enjoys hurting people. Wouldn't it be cool if they spent some time in the story talking about that? Oh no, wait, she joins in like the third to last chapter of the game, so no, you're not going to get that opportunity. Like, there's a little bit of sadism in this little lady, and they just don't fucking talk about it because she's introduced way too late. Which is weird because, like, they somehow made the problem worse after P4. Because people criticized a lot back during, oh shit, P4 that Naoto didn't get enough screen time. Because in reality, yeah, no, she didn't. But Naoto at least is present in the... Whoa, fucking okay. Is at least present in the story for a lot of it. It's just she doesn't join the party until late. Haru straight up doesn't exist until her story. But yeah, I'll always be a huge Futaba defender. I love Futaba. Futaba was also like my first real big introduction to Erika Lindbeck, one of my favorite voice actresses. And that's also when I learnt the hard way that if Erika Lindbeck voices a character in a game, it's a good game. Like, I don't know what it is with her, but if she voices a character in a game, it's going to be a good fucking game. Pick it up and play it, you'll enjoy it. Unless, of course, you're not the designed audience. Well, I have the polar opposite opinion. She has my favorite arc in the game, and she has one of my favorite dungeons in the entire Persona franchise. Obviously, I don't know how much Royal changed it, but I fucking loved her dungeon in P5. It's easily my favorite, and was like on my second and my third playthrough was like the dungeon I wanted to get to go through again, because I just really fucking loved it. The only criticism is that if you do her whole dungeon as soon as possible, Futaba sleeps for like 30 days straight. Like, it's like, what? Okay. Because obviously they expect you to pace it, so she's only asleep for a few days near the end. But if you rush it at the start, she naps for like a month straight. You're like, what the fuck, girl? And I like it because she's the Futaba's like in Persona 5. She's like the only Persona user in P5 to get a Persona the traditional way. which is to face your shadow directly, face your past directly. Everyone else in P5 just kind of gets angry and they get it. Futaba's the only one to get it traditionally. You have to face a part of yourself and accept a part of yourself you didn't to be able to access the other side of yourself, hence your persona. Like, Persona 2 and 4 establish this as, like, core rules you need to do. The reason why they don't do it in P3 is because they artificially force their persona, hence the evoker. None of them naturally have access to their persona. Because none of them ever did that. They never truly faced their other side. And when they did, that's when their personas evolved into their true personas, which not everyone in the cast even did in Persona 3. Not everyone gets an extra persona. Only some of them do. Like, Futaba's the only one to get it traditionally, and so she gets brownie points for, like, obeying the rules. Another round of applause couldn't hurt. I clapped my hands till they fell off if I could, but then I couldn't write another story, so forgive me for not doing so, my man. Still, I assure you that in my heart, naught but bones remain attached to my wrists. Yeah, it's getting kind of creepy. Hmm? Oh, really, I thought kids these days like their stories with a little dash of darkness. Watching the shadow pin burrow back into the ground really takes a load off my soul. Oh, fair enough. You have to remember, like, I remember some character names from FFF, but I don't remember everyone, because it's been 3 years since I last picked up that game. Oh, sorry, it's like 2 years and like 9 months. Like, nearly 3 years. Which dictates that we now need to check the third lesser shadow pin and the greater shadow pin. And we can call it a job well done. Abyss successfully busted. Not to return for a good long time. He said, oh, right, yeah, okay. The rest of this trip should be quite safe, so feel free to come along and chat with me. I'd like to know the heroes I'm inscribing from our tribe stories better, you know? Ah, in case, that's going to be something like this. The mighty Paimon was just tall as your mountain. In that case, I'd like to be as large as too. Rawr, rawr, rawr. Yeah, what do you mean by that, little guy? You want to tell us to be as tall as 3 mountains? Rawr. Soma, you truly are a Sauron of the prodigious appetites. Arr. Sure, in that case, my brave warriors. Paimon, tall as a mountain, enemy of the stature of 2, and Soma of the bulk of 3. Romance, yeah. And with me. Would you kindly? Uh-oh. Fontaine was last chapter. T2, the poor little human-sized dwarf, to check that last little shadow pin. Where are we actually heading in this? Oh, I was about to hop out of the mount. I'm glad I didn't. Oh, not that it would have fucking mattered. Okay. I'm guessing that's the third pin. What? Who did you kindly? The NPC was talking to. He said, would you kindly, like, come with me? Got to the third pin. Oh, hang on. Fuck. I saw a rock that I need to break. No! Wonderful. It's solid. Almost as if it's grown from the very soil. More robust, even in the roots and the great mother tree that grows beneath the scions of the canopy's mountain cliffs. Now I can head back and take up my shift in peace. Of the 3 lesser shadow pins, the most reliable you remained. If I should ever pen a tale of the pins transforming into lovely tribes, women used to be the loveliest among them. Wow, so you're the one most interested in stone putters all along, huh? Shocking. Hey now, that's ignorance speaking. Here in Natlan, we believe that pure spirits and intelligence dwell within all things. So Princess got there. Sure. I know who Tiara is. Tiara I remember because it's Sonia Nevermore's voice actress. And she's also, like, easily the best character in the game. I remember her before I remember Fang. And I also remember how, like, because I had to do so much grinding for the final boss, but, you know, she's kidnapped for the whole final dungeon. that like everyone was level 90 and she was like level 40 something in the final dungeon, in like the final boss, and she was literally worthless for the final boss. That guy's going into my head. Well, I can't remember the actress's name, but she's the same voice as Sonya Nevermore from Danganronpa 2. For example, the tale of the beech tree shadow that transformed into a young woman and a young flower-feathered clan tribesman who fell from the sky. Or the story of a man who was human by the day and would morph into a Sauron under the moonlight at night. Anime videos, fair enough. It's fine. When, if you have any recollection of how some of the characters sounded in either Danganronpa game, when we bump into, Capitano, you'll fucking hear Gundam Tanaka. You will. As soon as he starts talking, you'll be like, that's him. That's the guy with the 6 hamsters. There he is. Gundam Tanaka. And because my voice is sore, I can do the voice even easier. Because my voice is already rumbly. Yeah. Yeah, Sonya Nevermore. Point. See. Sorry, look. Oh god. Here goes more lovely. Everything changed. Everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked, or when the Carnian catastrophe struck. The Carnian catastrophe? Indeed, Natlan's ley lines were always special and somewhat delicate, and so the calamity brought utter devastation. Quote if the Sonya Nevermore. It's alright, if Danganronpa V3 ever gets its recording block removed or a PS5 remaster, she's in that one too. Yeah, she says precisely like 2 lines. And then that's it. Because V3 is a fucking mess. I think every single character outside of the Ultra Despair Girls have like 1, maybe 2 lines of dialogue in V3, and it's entirely because of Case 6. Case 6 throws so much bullshit at you, and it's just like, what the fuck are we doing? Don't mention about Kanria, yeah. Well, the Archon War 500 years ago, there's so much devastation caused by it across the world that's still noticeable to this day. I mean, you know, the big one was, hey, everything that happened in Inazuma happened because, A freaked out after her twin sister died in the fucking war. If that war didn't happen and her twin sister was alive, Inazuma would have, not have had, like, the Vision Hunt decree or shit like that. It would have actually been A-okay. The dragon might not have been murdered either. We can't renew attire right now. Us? No, we're not. We're wearing Celestial attire. No one in this shot is wearing anything from Kanria. Lumine and Paimon have got Celestial clothes, and he's Natlan. Celestia is in the opposite direction. Kanria is getting closer to the Abyss. Celestia is that big fucking floating island. Wait, seriously? Yeah. We're wearing our clothes are closer to Celestial than they are Kanrian, because we're literally the twins are literally effectively intergalactic travelers with like heavenly wings and shit, and then they were attacked by a literal heavenly based god that was sick one reason or another wanted to challenge them and knocked them down, and they both landed in Tevat, but with a 500-year difference. Wherever twin you don't pick lands first, and then you land 500 years later. It's also why, your twin's alive, even though it's been 500 years. It's because you're not of this world. So you don't obey the rules. Like, it's implied that Aether and Lumine are, like, several thousands of years old. Which is why they get annoyed when they're not served drinks, just because they look young. Kanrian soldiers! That's right, at the time the tribe leader had gone forth to a lone island in the west to resist the giant beasts. Elder Trero and had no choice but to contend with the Abyss, and those two object Kanrians. Maybe it's clearly dead. Finally, the tribes, warriors, and Saurons, exhausting their spirit, flesh, and blood, found a way to use the iridescent inscription, fashioning giant stone nails out of the solid phlogiston. The elder Traino was first to leap into the dark pit, crying, "If the abyss should ensnare death, let us flip the script. With death and sacrifice we shall ensnare the abyss." The brave warriors followed him in, and after much sacrifice, the abyss was at least sealed beneath the earth. I am super curious about Khaenri'ah, though. We know now that after Snezhnaya, the next destination is Khaenri'ah. So, like, 6.0 will be Snezhnaya, 7.0 will be Khaenri'ah. And I'm like, ooh, a land that's literally eviscerated by, like, all the gods ganging up on it 500 years ago. A literal deadland nation. That I'm interested in. I want to see what that's like. But then the question is whether we do Abyss then Celestia, or Celestia then Abyss for Endgame. Well, at least Teyvat's Endgame. Which is wild to think about, but yeah, we are actually closer to the end of Genshin's story than the beginning now. We're 6 regions in, and we have Snezhnaya, Khaenri'ah, Abyss, and Celestia left to go. We're literally past the halfway point. Fontaine was the halfway point. I don't have an idea what Khaenri'ah is. Fair enough. That's the story. Having 5. I mean, also know about the flower field of intertwining intertwining fates, or whatever the fuck it's called. There's this weird flower field that was in one little teaser that Daneslith is on, where he, like, in that teaser he talks about one day you will have to fight him to take the hand of your twin. So basically, you have to fight him to get to your twin eventually. That flower field has data properties and has a name in the files, even though it's only in a teaser trailer and is never present in the game. So a lot of people theorize we're gonna fucking go there eventually. Like, that's a solid location that actually exists somewhere in the map that we will go to eventually. Comes on to place Enkanomiya. I mean, I suppose Enkanomiya was corrupted by the Abyss, but it was also an undersea, Atlantis-esque area to begin with, so it already had some aesthetical differences. I mean, it's a good point to start with, but to be honest, if Khaenri'ah looks like Enkanomiya, bring it the fuck on, because I still think Enkanomiya is one of the most visually stunning locations in the game. Especially when the lighthouse is on. I know it's not a lighthouse, but I call it the lighthouse. When the lighthouse is on, and you just have that beacon in the distance, it's beautiful. It's a work of art to just look at. Century goes, so you mean so like you saw something yourself. Storyteller's duty. I love my work, and amongst the tales I tell, I love the stories that heroes the most. An idea of, Not a Nimbo fellow, nor am I the best fighter. If anything, the first thing from a hero. Listen, my biggest thing is just, I'm curious where the story's gonna end. If it's Abyss, then Celestia, or if it's Celestia, then Abyss. I kind of hope we go from Khaenri'ah to the Abyss to Celestia. But, I don't know. And the reason why I want it to be that way round is because I want the end of the Abyss chapter for, like, the Abyss to, like, explode out and corrupt. And then we get, like, this eclipsed version of Celestia sort of thing, if that makes any sense. Like, Celestia, even, like, the highest peak, the purest of the heavens are not immune to the corruptions of the Abyss. I know that's, like, a done trope that, like, even the purest can fall, but come on. Especially because of how, prevalent and foreboding the Blood Moon is. The Crimson Moon is in the background of so many key events in this game. It has to mean something. And it's like, if, like, the Abyss corrupts up, and, like, then, like, when you're on Celestia because of the corruption, the whole time you're on Celestia, the moon is always the Crimson Moon. Like, that sort of shit would be wicked. Well, So I feel like I'm right there, traveling, adventuring, and fighting alongside them. I feel them smile upon me, egging me on, standing in the shadows of the bonfires, listening to me as their friend bang their exploits. Alright, I kind of get the story here. I want to kind of do this third pin, and then start Act 2. And then, because I know they'll be like, do this, and then go to the Great Pin, so we'll do this. I'm kind of shaking Paimon. I blame T2's awful jape. Come on, that joke wasn't that disastrous. Shadow pin. The tremors are coming from. Something's wrong. Coming me to get back there. And can makes me feel the new civilization. Yeah. The woven scrolls clearly state that things or experiences do not prepare for us to do something to happen. For a second, I think that deer was about to, like, attack this man. For a second, I thought it was about to ram him. It's more accurate to say accidents happen so often, even Paimon stopped being surprised. Could be that. Some chains overtaking the abyss, surging within the ley lines, causing the resistance to grow stronger. Either way, it feels like something terrible's happening down there. Why don't we try and get a closer look? Oh, okay, bye, Soma. Please do, Emmy. Hey, can I go back to that other pin? I saw a rock I wanted to break. Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know where it was anymore. Uh-oh. Is it down there? I think I can see it. It's literally just because there was one rock I saw that I wanted to break. Hey, here we are. There it is. It will just be nothing. Well, fuck. Oh no, we've done this, okay. I was gonna say, is that the one I've done? Oh, I also opened, I got one key, so I opened that shrine. But if that's going into something bigger, then I think I will actually detour now to do Act 2. Also, I made my own, you saw at the end of the last stream, I made my own warp here, because it's more convenient. Take a walk around the people of the springs. What's this? Oh, we can do page 2 of this. Take a picture of that, take a picture of those guys. Oh, find the Seons of the Canopy, we've done that. Find 9 berries, we've done that. Oh, we're cleaning up loads of these quests, it's awesome. Oh, we have to do it. That's a challenge. That, and they're there to take the photos. And then this is doing the main challenge. And then part 3, the Mualani stuff will be late. It will be in 2 days' time. Also, 47% complete. Uh-oh. Just get shot immediately. Alright. I'm gonna start this. But as this cutscene's starting, I'm going to get up and, like, open a window because it's getting a little warm in my room.
Paimon feels like a whole new Paimon after those 2 days in the hot springs. The abyss kind of threw a wrench in our relaxation, though. Still, spending time here really has felt like a vacation.
Right, I'm back.
The Kaholosaurs are so nice and so fun to play with. Their bellies are super bouncy. Oh, and Atea's snacks were so delicious. She gave Paimon some for the road just this morning, actually.
What was she up to?
Yelling at some kids who got caught throwing stones in the hot springs, so not much has changed since we first met her.
Hey, you guys.
Oh, hey,
Sleep
beautiful.
well last night?
Yep, this area is so nice.
Glad you like it. I was thinking of taking you guys out to do some sea fishing. Later tonight, we can eat whatever we catch. Fresh fish is absolutely delicious right off the grill.
She's such an animated person. She's always bouncing and jumping around and whatnot.
What do you need?
The team sent out to fight in the Night Warden Wars has returned.
And Kachina? Is she back as well?
Kachina fell in battle. But don't worry, The team was victorious, so the rite of resurrection will be held in...
Kachina died? Bruh! Only she's getting resurrected because her team won.
That's a relief. The Abyss is cunning, and it was her first time. Mistakes are bound to happen.
Exactly. She deserves to hold her head up high.
Alright, thanks for letting me know.
Death as a concept works real weird in Natlan. Because, like, they treat death as nothing unless you, like, die of old age or die of disease.
Jeez, she sounded
if you die fighting the Abyss, as long as your team come back with a dub, you're fine. It doesn't matter.
Mulani,
It's like playing Search and Destroy in Call of Duty. As long as one of you fucking makes it, you're all good.
just wants to destroy everything. Like, think about all those monsters that attacked your tribe. If there really was some sort of cunning plan, wouldn't it make more sense to send them to attack Kachina and her small team? Not that Paimon wants them to be in any more danger, it's just...
Relax, I get it.
Yeah, Ifrit is kind of gay for Zagi, like, very, very gay. Oh, bless. Awesome. That's what we like to see.
Like the only goal is total destruction. The Abyss isn't a living entity after all, so what capacity for logic or planning could it possibly possess? But through our long history of fighting the Abyss, we've realized things aren't quite so simple. 500 years ago, the Abyss invaded...
Oh, so they're not even, like, trying to, like, pretend it's anything else. Fair enough.
Right?
500 years of the Abyss invaded Teyvat. Yeah, during the Age of Khaenri'ah?
That's right. Khaenri'ah suffered greatly during that time. But so did every other nation in Teyvat. And Natlan was the worst affected of all. It took the combined efforts of the then Pyro Archon and heroes from every tribe to finally repel the Abyss. Even so, the effects of the invasion lingered for hundreds of years, only able to be reversed little by little. Our tribe's waters were contaminated.
I like how she's telling this, like, deep, meaningful story, and the music's, like, cozy vibes.
By dangerous sludge surging from underground. Unrelenting black winds tore across the lands of the Flower Feather clan. It was like each disaster was designed for a specific tribe.
So the Abyss understood the foundations of each tribe.
Exactly. We once thought that the Abyss's desire for destruction was a sort of primal instinct. But its methods are, in truth, marked by intelligence. We now believe the Abyss has invaded the Night Kingdom, and has the capacity to read the memories of this land at any given moment.
And that's how it became so dangerous and cunning. Almost like it knows you inside and out.
I hope we go to the Night Kingdom. With how center-focused it is, it feels like that's where the story's gonna end. The Night Kingdom, the literal, like, front line between the world and the Abyss.
Have been successfully addressed by the various Pyro Archons we've had over the years. Now every tribe is prospering and things are looking up. I mean, just look at what we managed to do a few days ago. We totally fought them off.
In other nations, I've seen how much effort it takes to truly eradicate the Abyss. The people of Natlan live in its shadow every day. Who knows how long it will take for this war to end?
You must have had to sacrifice a lot to get to this point.
Every battle, every sacrifice is in pursuit of a future where we get to stop fighting. Responsibility, duty, unavoidable burden. Everyone in Natlan views the war differently. But I believe we will be rid of the Abyss one day. And the efforts of all who fought against them will become a story for the ages. To think that my name could survive in ballads passed down to future generations, it's kind of romantic. Everyone has something that drives them forward, you know?
Aww. You can do it.
Not only for ourselves, but for our future. Anyway, let's head to the stadium. Our fishing trip can wait until Kachina's back with us. The sea's not going anywhere.
Act 2, Black Stone under a White Stone. Nowhere near as, like, cool of a title as the fucking first one. Reminder, because, like, some people were making jokes at it the moment it was announced, so, like, the absurdity of the name differences. Chapter 1 was called Flowers Resplendent on a Sun-Scorched Sojourn. And then Act 2 is Black Stone under a White Stone. You're like, what the fuck? I said, I don't think anything will beat a chapter name or go quite as hard as the last chapter of Fontaine, fucking Masquerade of the Guilty. Like, fucking hell yeah. Not only is it a sick title, it's also... extremely accurate to what's going on in the story, because the masquerade is what Furina's doing, and she is guilty of pretending to be an Archon. I mean, did she find her guilty of it? Like, come on. Masquerade of the Guilty is a sick fucking chapter name. Masquerade of the Guilty is like a Castlevania title level cool name.
Whoa, this place is packed already.
Of course. No one's gonna miss out on the chance to welcome our heroes back from battle. It's their moment of glory. Kachina's gonna be so flustered. She's never had this many eyes on her before.
Yeah, she doesn't seem like the kind of person who likes being the center of attention.
Looks like I'm just in time.
Oh, hey, Kanish. Oh, hey, please tell me it's just you and not your stupid fucking pixel buddy.
Kanish, you're here!
Yeah, a commission ran longer than expected, but I made it.
I know the whole point is that, like, Ahol, or Ahol, or however you pronounce his name, is just a dedicated hater, and I get it, and I respect it, but he's still annoying.
Yeah, it's all taken care of. Our new friend here's got some tricks up her sleeve, by the way. She's just as strong as Kachina made her out to be.
If only I'd been a bit more perceptive.
Hey, look! Is it about to start?
That's right. Someone will come out and recite a eulogy, and then we'll sing the Ode of Resurrection together.
In before the plot twist that it doesn't work and Kachina's just dead.
Starts, just follow my lead and you'll be fine. Let's go somewhere higher up so Kachina can spot us.
Oh, that was a transition. That was a fucking Star Wars transition.
Warriors of Natlan, heed the call of life. We are the inheritors of memory and legend. Those who grew alongside sun and wind. Those who forged our own destiny and future. That is Natlan's fire, the lifeblood of our nation.
Don't keep your head playing like that and you might go bold. Yeah, she's literally playing with fire a little bit. That was actually beautiful. Oh shit. But isn't it like the whole thing that if you are pyro based, your body temperature is naturally way higher? So it might just be that her skin's just adjusted to it anyway.
I could not find Kachina within the Night Kingdom, or locate her ancient name.
Well, shit.
What?
What did I say?
What does that even mean?
It means she's dead, potentially.
Usually once the ode is complete, the Pyro Archon and resurrected person will emerge from the flames. But something went wrong.
What's going on? This has never happened before.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. Clearly, the team sent to fight the Abyss didn't win after all. Think about it. The ode rekindles all victors. We witnessed it countless times.
I'm really impressed with the effort for authenticity they've gone for this arc so far. Right? It's just a shame, like, there's one little bit of the authenticity that they just didn't do.
You haven't gotten over the fact that Kachina beat you in the pilgrimage!
Pathetic. The both of you.
Your wild guesses are misplaced. We completed our mission.
Fizz, I know, I'm gonna say something, and I feel like I'm the only one that's saying it, and I hate the fact I'm the only one that's saying it, but it needs to be said. I don't think her design is that fucking bad, guys. The amount of hate I've seen on Chaska's design, I'm like, I get it. Having a character that's whole aesthetic is blue and red doesn't always look nice. In fact, there's more instances where characters where they have sharp blue and sharp red doesn't look nice. It looks really awkward and janky. I think she looks fine. I think she looks fine. I don't think she looks bad at all. Every single time I see someone says, "Oh, she looks hideous. Why does she look like that? Why does she just look like, why didn't they just do this?" I'm like, does she really look that fucking bad? I don't think so. I think she looks fine. They're trying to be offensive. But that's what makes everything about what's going on with Natlan makes the whole skin color thing stand out more. Like, even more so than I think Hoyoverse could have ever predicted. They really thought, like, people was just not going to notice that you're going to be extremely faithful to a lot of African cultures, and then just have them all be white, and no one was going to notice that. Over-designed, but it tastes like for me. Yeah, like I say, yeah, I have criticisms, but I don't hate it the way people do. I think it's just all right.
Maybe you did, but who's to say whether that little girl even contributed at all? Maybe she got scared and ran off. Why would the YUB recognize someone like her, even if she was on the winning team?
How dare you insult a hero of Natlan like that? Kachina sacrificed herself to repel the Abyss. She doesn't deserve to be subjected to your vile rumors when she's not even here to defend herself.
Calm down, Mualani. There's no point arguing with the likes of them.
I can't just sit here and let them slander her like that.
To insult a hero of Natlan, the person actually has to be a hero.
You...
Think about it, everyone. Who do you think is really at fault here? A girl who never should have even gone to war? Or the great Pyro Archon? Why would the rules of our nation suddenly stop working?
That's true. If she wasn't revived, it must mean she failed to achieve victory. Maybe the YUB interpret victory in different ways?
I mean, that girl didn't look all that strong to me.
The Pyro Archon seems deep in thought. Why isn't she putting a stop to the commotion? I think it's because the Pyro Archon is the one at fault, and she's just not taking responsibility.
Kachina wouldn't have run! That's not like her at all!
And he crumbles and dies,
No.
exactly.
She's been waiting for this moment for too long. No matter how daunting the situation, no matter how scared she might feel, she's always the first person to stand up and face it head on. We don't even know what happened. So don't you dare try to use this as an excuse to vent your anger or slander her reputation.
Fine. We'll find out what happens soon enough. Then, we'll see who truly deserves glory.
That's enough.
Thank you.
There is no doubt about today's victory, or Kachina's part in it. She is a hero worthy of our admiration and celebration. However, the failure of today's ceremony is undeniable. Kachina has not been rekindled, and I offer you all my deepest apologies as I continue to investigate this matter. To prevent further casualties, I have decided to suspend the pilgrimage until this matter is resolved.
What?
No one is all-knowing. No one is infallible, not even myself. But doubt is a means by which we seek the truth, not a weapon we wield against others.
She said, "Hey, shut the fuck up and let me look into this and stop spreading rumors, you vile little shit." That's basically that. I swear, I translated for you, Mavuka. I got you.
I didn't mean it that way, Archon. I just...
If there are things you wish to clarify, then ask me directly. Doubt my answer if you wish. But now's your chance. You have concerns? State them.
No, of course not.
Even though I have said nothing to change your mind, then it would seem the truth never mattered to you at all.
Yeah, you was only there to cause shit because you're bitter that you weren't picked. Also, goddamn, Mavuka, you're so hot. And not just because you're on fire. I mean, literally because you're... fuck.
That guy doesn't even have the courage to answer the Pyro Archon's question. So much for all that glory talk earlier.
I have a question, Archon. My friend Kachina. Do you have any idea where she is? It's extremely important to me. I know you said you were investigating the situation, but I'm sorry, that's not enough.
I've already shared everything I know. If you want to learn the truth and rescue your friend sooner, you should join the investigation. So, what do you say?
Of course I'll join.
In that case, come see me in the speaker's chamber.
Oh, is this how we're gonna get to actually meet?
Oh, and if it's not too much trouble, could you drop by as well, Traveler? I'd like to have a chat.
You know me? Oh, oh, hi. Oh, I didn't realize we were that close. Oh my god, just admit you have a latex bodysuit fetish. Now, I have a Himiko crush, that's the thing. If you're a Himiko, you're in my book of, you're cool.
Rest assured, everyone, I'll keep the tribal chiefs informed on the progress.
Don't get me wrong, her costume is sick. And like the fact that like on her left, it's brighter because it's the sun. It's the sun shining over one side of her body to the other. Like that's actually a pretty cool detail.
Once again, I apologize for the outcome of this ceremony. If there are
to be fair, she's owning up to it a lot more than I thought she was.
Now.
I was expecting her to kind of keep quiet and let people think that like something else had gone wrong and she was in at fault, but she's been very kind of like clear. It's like, hey, no, I fucked up. I'm looking into it.
Did she just ask us to come along?
What? I believe she did. Let's go. I'd like to know what's going on myself.
Sorry, Kanish. Did she say Traveler and Kanish come along, or did she say Traveler? I'm going to her room. Or the speaker's chamber. Oh, we all came along, okay.
The situation is urgent, so I'll get straight to the point. Kachina is undoubtedly a hero of Natlan, and I'm deeply sorry this happened to her. There's been unrest in the Night Kingdom, but I don't know what's causing it. As a result, I've been unable to track down her location. Until we find and address the cause of the unrest, the Ode of Resurrection will continue to be ineffective.
And that means Kachina won't be able to come back?
And in case anyone's curious, if you've seen it go, oh, but all this talk of like Natlan and like the skin color issue, Janssen actually seems to be appropriately skin colored. Hey, that's because she was fully revealed years ago. And considering the the whole belief that things happen behind closed doors, I don't think they could whitewash her. Because I think that would literally give it away too much. I think that was like Hoyoverse's design team and teaser team being smarter and forward thinking more than they realized, that by revealing how she looked way ahead of time, by the time they got to Natlan, they couldn't change it. Which is why she's like the only one that looks somewhat appropriate.
That's correct. Not until the problem with the Night Kingdom.
That's obviously just me theorizing, but still. Best round of representation? Yeah, but they don't have it this bad.
How long will that take?
It's hard to say.
Kachina always dreamed of fighting the Abyss. Of doing her part to defend Natlan. She wasn't afraid of death because she knew, if it came down to it, the Pyro Archon would be there to bring her back to life.
Oh, Milani, you're gonna make the Archon here feel a little guilty about all this. She's already like, ugh.
Whenever we sat down together, exhausted.
Oh no, she's trying not to cry.
She would always hum the Ode of Resurrection. She was supposed to come back to us. We were supposed to hug her and celebrate with her and share her joy. We supported her every step of the way, but what are we supposed to do now? Sit peacefully and wait for her return? Lose ourselves in grief over her death? Tell me, are we her friends? Or her murderers?
That's not fair, Mualani.
It's all right. I understand your rage and your grief. Kachina's life means a great deal to me, Mualani. Believe me, I want to bring her back as soon as possible. I would give you that peace of mind if I could. But please, hear what I have to say so I can at least give you a broader picture of the issue we are now facing. Considering the recent attack on your tribe, I believe the Abyss has found a new means of undermining the rules of our nation.
Well, we were just talking about how the Abyss are getting smarter at the start of this story quest, so I'm not really surprised that they found a way to, like, hey, that the Abyss, like, going to war with the Natlans all the time, and the Natlans keep on getting up after they kill them. It's probably, it's like, we need to figure out how the fuck they're doing that. Like, someone in the Abyss was like, hey, we should probably try and figure out how to not let them keep getting resurrected.
You mean...
The Sacred Flame. The foundation of our resistance against the Abyss. If we continue to hold the pilgrimage and send teams to fight the Abyss, there will likely be more casualties. But if we stop altogether, the Sacred Flame will only grow weaker. The Abyss will scale up their attacks, and the tragedy we saw with the people of the Springs will only be the first of many.
If we compare the two choices, the former seems to be the lesser of two evils. Sorry, I know that may sound harsh, but I bear the name Malipo. Weighing the costs is my duty. The raw truth can be cruel. But we need to understand it if we want to approach this rationally.
But what would you say, Mualani? This is personal for you. And unlike Kenichi, I dare say it's not a simple case of...
Do you know what I do think is kind of nice? Just a little detail that gives away more than anything how much Mavoika actually cares about her people. She knows all of them by name without even, like, the slightest hesitation or having to think about it. Like, Furina referred to most people as her subjects and didn't refer to them by name until she got humbled. Nahida needed to be introduced to a lot of them. I'm pretty sure the Raiden Shogun still doesn't know half of people's names. Zhongli doesn't talk to his people because obviously they think he's dead. And Vensi's drunk in a bar all the time. Mavoika knows all of them by name as if, like, they're homies. Like, she respects her people. Like, it's just a nice little thing. It's just a little detail, the little things that go a long way. And, like, the fact that she's going out of her way to, like, she knows this means a lot to Mualani, so she values Mualani's opinion more here because she knows it's personal.
No. I can't choose between them, and I don't want to. Saying that one is preferable over the other is disrespectful to the people who suffered.
You're saying it doesn't matter whether I suspend the pilgrimage. The consequences will be equally painful.
Yes. What happened to Kachina breaks my heart. But I couldn't bring myself to sacrifice other people for her sake.
And that is the crux of the problem. It's not simply a matter of choosing the lesser of two evils. Either way, there will be people who suffer. And the end result will be the same. Belief in the pilgrimage will waver. Once doubt has crept in, the people will no longer unite in battle against the Abyss. And that is exactly what the Abyss wants. Their ultimate goal isn't to break the rules that make the Ode of Resurrection work. It's to destroy the people's faith in them. To prevent what happened to Kachina from happening to anyone else, we need to suspend the pilgrimage. So that is my current plan. And in the meantime, I've made efforts to strengthen each tribe's defenses. Then, we have to find another way of strengthening the Sacred Flame to keep the Abyss at bay. This won't be easy. I'll need time to figure out the best approach. I understand your anger, Mualani.
Very good, that's
but I hope
a lot of words for
provided some
warfare's built on
clarity.
deception, yeah.
Wow. Hyman thought things were gonna get heated for a second, but the Pyro Archon took the time to explain everything so patiently.
Yeah, it's because the Pyro Archon, I don't think, like, behaves and or treats herself as a ruler. She treats herself as someone of her people that's just the spokesperson of them. Like, she respects her position, she doesn't abuse it.
I owe you an apology, Archon. I let myself get carried away earlier, and I'm sorry. You're right. We need to focus on finding solutions.
I also like that the background music is actually the Ode of Resurrection we just heard, but with instruments and whatnot. Like, it's part of the theme in the background because we're so close to the sacred flame that is supposed to resurrect people. But also, the Ode of Resurrection is the exact thing that people theorized would be how La Senora comes back from death. But like I said, the moment they established that you have to be Natlan born for it to work was the moment I think that theory went out the window. Because La Senora is, I'm trying to remember. I think she was born in Snezhnaya. She was raised in Sumeru. No, she was raised in Mondstadt. She met a fella in Sumeru. The fella died, which is but no, it was the other way around. It was Sumeru and then Mondstadt, because in Mondstadt they died, which is why she has a personal vendetta against Venti, because Venti did nothing to save her husband. And then she died in Inazuma. So she was Miss Worldwide before Worldwide, because she had been to 4 regions. Well, 5. She visited Liyue as well, so 5. But she spent a good chunk of her life. Her life began in Snezhnaya. She studied in Sumeru. She met someone in Mondstadt and fell in love, got married, and then he died. And then she met her end in Inazuma. And then she was buried back in Sumeru. So yeah, none of that is Natlan, so no, I don't think she's coming back. Furina commanded, Mavoika led. Yeah, true.
We could always hold the pilgrimage without sending a team to fight in the Night Warden Wars. That way, we would still be able to fuel the sacred flame.
I've considered that, but the 2 events have nearly always been linked. Without the chance to fight the Abyss, pilgrimage rankings lose their prestige, and competitor numbers will drop.
Hey Janssen, are you gonna say literally anything? You've just stood there in silence this whole fucking thing.
With fewer participants, the amount of contending fire produced will decrease, and the vicious cycle will continue indefinitely.
So, essentially, the Abyss has taken Kachina hostage.
What happens if you stay in the Night Kingdom for a long period of time?
You've learned about the concept of ley lines during your travels, yes? The Night Kingdom is something similar. Staying there for a short period of time shouldn't have an effect on the person. But with the Abyss in the picture, it's a different story. Your sense of self will be devoured, until eventually you become one with the Sea of Souls. Imagine pouring a cup of water into a rushing river. You can try to scoop up another cup, but there's no chance it will be the same water you had before. I won't sugarcoat it. That is the danger Kachina is currently facing.
Just like you said, Archon. Both of these problems need to be addressed. You can focus all your efforts on dealing with the Sacred Flame. I will go search for Kachina.
The Abyss poses the same threat to you as it does to her. It is very possible you will not return. Knowing that, do you still choose to go?
Kachina's waiting for us to rescue her. That's all that matters.
Spoken like a true hero, Mualani.
I failed to protect her during our campaign, but I can make it up to her now. I choose to go as well.
Traveler? What do you think?
I promise you'd have a chance to learn from me.
Understood. Then I'll support you in any way I can.
Hey, Janssen, say literally anything. Please, I'm begging you.
Nightwind have a technique that can extract an ancient...
She's just sitting there. She's just sitting there, minding her business. Like, hi, I'm here too.
If we can find Kachina's ancient name, I can use the link between them to pinpoint her position within the Night Kingdom. Then comes the hard part. You need to visit the Night Kingdom in person and rescue her.
But isn't the Night Kingdom a land of souls? Can we even go there?
Under normal circumstances, only the consciousness can enter. But there is a way to go there in person.
I wonder if, the Night Kingdom will be a map expansion. Maybe not in 5.1, they might leave that for the finale. But that would be cool, to actually have a location on the map that is abyssal by nature, that isn't like the absolute depth corner of the chasm. Because like the chasm is like the closest thing you can get, but that's because you just get near to the abyss.
However, know that the Night Kingdom...
Hence why you get the upside down castle, because it's near the abyss and it's already fucking things over.
That's fine by me.
Same here. Fighting the Abyss is nothing new for me.
It won't be a problem.
So, Paimon's the only one who's scared? Well, if you're going, Traveler, Paimon's going too.
Glace and Fleur and Refrain Court aren't human. And the hooded guy is trying to make them... Oh, interesting.
Sitlali of the Masters of the Nightwind once created an artifact.
Oh, we haven't met Sitlali yet. I hope we do, because she's the one that's voiced by March 7th.
We call it the Spirit Speaker Stone. It was originally used as a ceremonial artifact wielded by the tribal chiefs. But that spiritual quality also...
We also haven't met, is it like Shilolen?
To search for an ancient
Shilonen? The one that starts with an X, the lion girl? Who, by the way, I've seen the leak footage for her. Oh. She has a coat, right? Her coat is imbued with magic, so it disappears when you use her skill. But do you know where it goes? It transforms into her fucking roller skates, and she skates everywhere. And you can use it to skate up mountains, and if you've got the roller skates equipped and you stop partway up a mountain, she'll swivel on the spot and sit on the wall. Like she's leaning on it. I was like, that's such a sick little animation that she has, that she can just fucking, like, roller skate around the gaff, and I'm like, fucking goddammit, but she has to have cool animations. But the fact that every single Natlan character has a traversal skill makes me really curious what they're going to do with Mavoika, considering, you know, they always make it that each Archon is, like, the master of their gimmick. So Mavoika is absolutely going to be an exploration, like, the best at exploration, basically. That's going to be her gimmick. She's going to be the best of that field. So my hopium that she was going to be just the best combat, no, that's not happening. She's probably going to be the best, as in, like, exploring the map, best in mobility and whatnot. But, like, we've got drill, we've got riding a shark, we've got... Kanisha's got a grappling hook, we've got the lion chick's got roller skates and she can skate up mountains. What's Mavoika, considering the motorcycle, like, jacket she's got? Please tell me she has a motorbike. Please tell me her skill is that she just hops on a fucking motorbike. Please, let us Akira slide into enemies. That'd be so cool. Sounds about Vincent Ferris Viraho. Within a wholesome desire of standing.
That was the
I'm also curious what Sitlani's is, considering she's such an, everything we've learned on her is that she's very, introverted and kind of hermity, like she doesn't want to leave her house kind of thing. And it's like, okay, how would you make a mobility tool for someone like that? All the rest fits their characters. So how would you make one for a character that doesn't want to be involved in fucking anything? Is it just that she just hides? You just press the skill button and she finds the nearest rock to hide behind?
Thank you so much for your help, everyone.
Your thanks are unnecessary. I will offer you whatever aid I can, but your fellowship and courage are what will truly decide the success of this operation. Besides, you're the ones helping me. I can only focus on one thing at a time, after all.
And it's like, I can do all this theorizing and excitement and whatnot, because this is probably the last... I say that, we have no idea how many twists and turns this Naya will have. We could be completely wrong. But we kind of have a decent idea what the Tsaritsa's gonna be like. Like, over, like, everything the Harbingers have told us, after all the teasers, and after the artwork we've seen of her, we have a vaguely good idea of how the Tsaritsa's gonna be. So this is, like, potentially the last time that we just genuinely don't really know where an Archon's going, and what they're gonna be like, and how they're gonna play, and, like, what their personality is gonna be like, etc. Like, Tsaritsa... Like, Tsaritsa, the biggest things we know about her is that she is genuinely a kind person. She is a kind, to an almost naive extent, Archon, who just wants to protect her home and keep her people safe and love the world around her. But that love is why she's doing what she's doing, because she feels that she isn't strong enough to protect anyone. Hence why she's trying to get all the Harbingers, hence why she has the Harbingers to begin with, and hence why she's trying to get all the Gnosis, to make the power difference, so then she can, like, she can take the fight to the Heavenly Principles before she feels the Heavenly Principles will take the fight to her. So I expect her to be almost kind of, I guess, more subtle. Like, I expect her to be more on the quiet side, and, like, every artwork we've seen of her is her sitting with, like, her head hunched over on a throne, where she looks sad. Like, she doesn't want to be in the position she's in. Like, she's a depressed, broken soul who's not strong, who's not capable, who's not ready, who's just trying anyway because she genuinely loves her people. And to be fair, considering she's, you know, one of the main villains, that makes her super interesting to me, because I think it's going to be very tragic when we get to her. And also, the Tsaritsa, seemingly, in the same way that, you know, Mavoika in front of us is very much a Himiko XP, the Tsaritsa seems very much like a Bronya XP. And if she is, I'm like, where's her Zila then? Because you know the rule that there's always a Bronya and a Zila, and they're always destined to love each other. Where's her Zila? Also, my doorbell just went, so I'm going to answer that quickly. Alright, I'm back. And it's also, like, part of my theory as to why I think the Bronya is so... Or the Tsaritsa, not just keep on calling her Bronya, is so miserable and so, like, down and dumps. It's not just because she's weak for that. I think it's because she has no one. I think she doesn't have her Zila. And that's going to be, like, part of the twist. In the same way that, like, Star Rail's Raiden Mei doesn't have her Kiana, I think it's going to be like that, where, like, Genshin's Bronya doesn't have her Zila, and that's part of the isolation that's corrupting her.
Traveler, I certainly didn't expect our first conversation to be so serious. I've heard all about your accomplishments. Ever since you arrived, I've been hoping to meet you and offer you Natlan's highest level of hospitality.
Aww.
Why?
Why? Is that not what happened in the other nations you visited?
Well... well... We weren't known in Mondstadt, and we just kind of ended up stumbling into... Which I was behind. Oh, was ya? Oh, fair enough. So, our first visit to Mondstadt, let's think about this. We were dealing with a dragon, we didn't have a rep. We were hunted, because we were seen as, like, a potential suspect in killing the Geo Archon, so, that didn't happen. We were wanted dead in Inazuma. The people, the Academia, wanted us dead in Sumeru, because they feared that we would free their Archon, which we did. And in Fontaine, we were immediately taken to fucking courts. So no, this is like the first time an Archon's just been like, oh, hi, welcome, hope you're doing well. How behind were you? Did you miss my whole conversation about, how I think the Tsaritsa's gonna be? Because I think the whole thing with the Tsaritsa, and part of the reason why she's so miserable and so vulnerable, and so seemingly weak, that she has all the Harbingers and whatnot, and why she seems, like, to love her people so much, is that I think that she doesn't have her Zila, because she's a Bronya XP. In the same way that, Star Rail's Raiden Mei doesn't have her Kiana, I don't think the Tsaritsa has her Zila. Maybe she's died, maybe something happened, maybe she hasn't met her, but that's my theory. But the Tsaritsa is always portrayed, in like everything we've learned, as being kind of weaker, or quieter, or shyer, or all these other things. Maybe it's because she doesn't have that someone. If you're gonna, I'm being real here. It's literally a legit thing. It's a literal pre-described thing. If you have a Bronya or Bronya XP, she always has a Zila, because they are destined lovers in every single universe. That's canon. In the same way that the character we're looking at right now is literally a fucking Himiko XP. And that's not even me reaching. She uses a greatsword and leans it on her right shoulder in every trailer, which is what every single version of Himiko pre-Star Rail does. to, like, the same fucking pose. They're trying to make it extremely fucking clear she is Himiko. She is a Himiko XP. No, they're XPs. I mean, that's dependent on the franchise and how they want to handle it. That's not a universal rule. Anyway, back to this conversation. Yeah, sorry, Mavoika. You're like the first Archon to give us any kind of like a happy welcome that isn't like sieved like in deception or trying to kill us.
Yeah, things were pretty complicated at the start. And, you know, in the middle. But our reputation's solid nowadays.
That's more like it. After all, I've heard you're someone who transcends fate.
You know quite a lot about me.
Perhaps even more than you can imagine. But we can talk about that some other time.
Have you been, like, stalking me? What the fuck do you mean?
Ideally, this would be the perfect night for a drink and some musical ambiance. But there are important things to be done.
Oh, I almost forgot. Atea was wounded in the fight against...
So Janssen still hasn't said a single word. She's just there.
This to you.
She's just in the background. She's just chilling.
It embodies fond memories and my strength of will. That's what she asked us to tell you. She said you'd know what that means.
I didn't think this day would come so soon. The flames of her life force. I can feel them flowing within the talisman. If things were different, the two of us could have enjoyed the hot springs together while she gave this to me in person.
Oh, you were longtime friends with her. Oh, I'm sorry, Mavoika, to let you know now that, hey, by the way, one of your old friends is dead. Sorry. Ooh, this is like... She's already... I kind of feel bad for Mavoika here, because she's already stressed the fuck out, because she's partly responsible for not saving someone's life because of it, like, because of the system. She's been shouted at by the person she's literally talking to for not doing her job. And it's like, oh, and by the way, one of your best friends is, like, dead. Sorry.
But
and not in the Oda Resurrectionable day, as in like the normal way.
A great deal to me. I'll take good care of it. And once this is all over, I'll pay Atea a visit.
Hey, Janssen, now half the cast are gone. Do you want to add something to the conversation, please? Oh, we can be a couple? That would be me if I was Lumine. I think that would be you if it was like, if you were Lumine and any other girl in this fucking game. Especially if they're tall.
You're right. Even now, the production of contending fire is far from sufficient. The gradual corrosion caused by the Abyss has resulted in a massive shortage of pyro energy. And we're currently...
If Janssen doesn't say anything during this cutscene, I'm just going to assume she's mute.
As things stand,
I know she's not, because she said like one line in Act 1.
Suspending it allows us to save our strength to defend the tribes.
I'm just going to assume she's voluntarily mute.
The Abyss has brought catastrophe to Natlan. And Kachina's disappearance in the Night Kingdom is a direct consequence.
She's just there! Say something!
We can't let the
Oh, finally!
know that.
She joined in!
No. If the public learned that Natlan's destruction was close at hand, there would be immense panic. But if I said nothing at all, they would have continued to question the integrity of Natlan's heroes.
Another simple choice. The latter was clearly the better solution. But you chose otherwise.
Kanish, I'm starting to think this whole man who has to weigh all the options by destiny doesn't really know how to weigh the options effectively. Because this is like 2 times in one conversation where like the options you've made, neither of them are right, and the people around you have just picked a different fucking one.
I have never subscribed to the belief that the right choice is the one with the fewest sacrifices. Let's go. There's still a way for the sacred flame to last a little longer.
You mean?
Yes. Come with me.
Oh, because I was kind of hoping we could look around the chamber, because I wanted to kind of look at all the, like, all the tribe icons.
It's also the pillar of Natlan's stability. So until our heroes are ready, I will sacrifice my power to keep it burning.
But that can only last so long. I think we should focus on the remaining ancient name-bearers.
Don't let desperation cloud your judgment. Those chosen by the Waib have already embarked on their destined path. It is for them to decide how that journey ends, not us. All we can do is support them.
Even so, for you to make this sacrifice, it's not right.
If not me, then who? No other is capable of sustaining the sacred flame. I possess great strength, but I'm not above my people. This is part of my duty.
And that there proves the whole thing we were talking about, where it's like, yeah, she leads, she's not commanding. She's one of her people, not the control of her people.
Archon, it's the Fatui!
Oh, is it time? Is it time? We're gonna meet our captain. Oh!
The Archon of Natlan. A force to be reckoned with.
Il Capitano!
The secret
the first of the Harbingers.
is no secret to me. Long have they been destined for ruin. And since the oath made 5 centuries ago remains unfulfilled, what use is the Gnosis in your hands?
I don't know what you mean. But it sounds like this is about more than the Tsaritsa.
In times of crisis...
Also, that was the Himiko post you just did.
Pick up the mantle of salvation. Your plan has reached an impasse, and now it falls to me to create new rules for Natlan. But before the dawn of a new age, the old must be destroyed.
Didn't you just, like, show up and went, hey, I'm here to throw hands? Hell yeah.
I assume that's the end of your speech? Good. People like us. Let our blades do the talking!
Oh, fucking, oh, that was a sick kick. And now they're both fucking shattered. I think, is that the first time we've seen anyone even hold their own against an Archon? Can you mind the last time a Harbinger started a fucking fight? Yeah, that's a draw. The last time an Archon started a Harbinger started a fight with an Archon, it was less than Nora and she got eviscerated in one hit.
Masters of the Night Wind. Send word. The
Damn!
followers must be apprehended.
Capitano showed up, fucking drawed, and then went, ah, peace, bitch. My goat. Hell yeah.
Are you alright, Archon?
He was a formidable opponent. Exactly what I would expect from the first of the Fatui Harbingers.
Also, did he like straight up fucking fly during that? I saw his body glowing, which means he is a Natlan native because he's using the Natlan ability. But that was a sick fucking cutscene. Hey, before we continue though, I need to use the bathroom, so I'll be back in a minute. Right, I'm back. But yeah, during that whole cutscene, every time Capitano spoke, I was like, oh, I can fucking hear. I can hear the Gundam Tanaka in his voice.
I never imagined someone could match you in combat.
Yeah, matching combat, yeah, so that was a draw. That, at least to me, it looked more like a draw. And that burn mark that was on Capitano's chest, I think that was because in that last punch, they both got a clean hit on each other. And so the fact that he took a straight punch from the Archon and survived, like, holy shit, dude. Considering, you know, once again, Les Signora was killed in one hit by Raiden Shogun.
Yeah. And how much does he know about Natlan?
The Harbingers are all driven by their own personal goals. The only purpose that unites them is collecting the Gnosis. But I'm sure the captain has his own reasons for being here as well.
Whatever his motive, we should shift our focus to the Fatui. If they attack again, and we're not prepared, we're done for.
No, we're running out of time. The wound I inflicted should hold him back and weaken him for the time being. Besides, I'm sure you noticed, the power that came to his rescue just now came from the Masters of the Nightwind.
In other words, there are traitors among us.
Huh? Among us? There are traitors among us? Sus?
Not necessarily. This could prove to be a very valuable turn of events. When we exchanged final blows, I sensed an unusual presence within him. I'll need to investigate further. Kenichi, go to the Masters of the Nightwind and look into who could have aided the captain. Speak to Citlali. She should know.
Of course. I'll head out right now. Do you still intend...
Yes, but fear not.
Oh, I'm so sorry that
strength
Among Us
has
has become a
never
complete
rested solely
juggernaut
on
of
its
culture.
Together we foresaw the only path that leads to our nation's future. We must trust in that vision now.
Is everything okay, Archon?
Completely fine. Just lamenting the fact that I never got a picture when I could still turn my hair into flames. Too late now.
Alright, Mavoika. She's like, I couldn't have when I was hot. Shit!
The others have a safe journey.
Armstrong. Now, Among Us, everyone knows Among Us. That transcended the bounds. That became, like, more than just, like, the meme of the week. Oh, hey, that was us hearing the fight between Mavoika and Capitano.
What's happening at the stadium? Did something explode?
It feels like the Archon unleashed her power. She must be fighting a formidable opponent.
Should we go back and check what's going on?
Kachina doesn't have that much time.
Have faith in the Archon. She wouldn't lose in a
Because you're repeating it. My point still stands, though. Everyone knows Among Us. Even those who've never played it know what it is.
Okay, let's just keep climbing.
And the fact that, you know, the game's been mainstream attention since 2020 and is still as, like, active as it is. I mean, what also helped is that it was a good game with friends that became popular during the height of the pandemic where everyone was fucking at home anyway. Battlefield of Ice and... We good? The internet dipped there for a second. I mean, I got it, so I'm... Natural culture. Yeah, but it still became a part of the culture. It still became a part. As I said, and if everyone knows it, everyone will continue knowing it, everyone keeps referencing it. It's not something that came and goes like a meme of the week. It is... Everyone says a sus and goes...